Alright, today I'm just going to do a little talk and review and overview of the PS1 with the LCD attachment. I got this when I was a kid and I loved it so very much. But first, let's talk about and compare it to the original PlayStation. And you may be wondering why I have an N64 in the corner. And that's for a little trick that I'm going to show you at the end for the LCD of this screen after. So let's get this out of the way right now. And let's do a little comparing. And whenever you're going to be really putting any electronics that you care about, always make sure you have the power strip with like a reset button, so if like a surge happens, it will just flip off here and hopefully not damage your equipment. You just flip it on. Compared to like this one, which doesn't have one, it may look similar, but this is just like an outlet extension pretty much. There's no surge protector or anything. So alright, let's take a look. Obviously there is quite a big size difference, and this is the original PlayStation. I don't have the original controller, I'm not sure where it was. The analog sticks came later, and you actually had to enable them to use them, and some games didn't even allow that, which was interesting. It does use RCA cables for the audio and video. They're red, white, and yellow. Audio is white and red, and the video is yellow. Those are from back in the day. And let's just plug it in. I don't have a TV or anything by here to plug it in with. Just turn it on and see what it looks like. And then you can enable the analog stick. In some games, you couldn't. You actually had to enable it, which I thought was funny. The originals were just very lightweight, didn't have this, didn't have rumble or anything. And yeah, just some interesting controller. Very fond memories of this. This system was a big horse, and we used it quite a bit. And this is back when all controllers were not wireless, they were all wired, and there was only 2 slots for players. I remember you could buy like an attachment to make it like 4, so some games had like 4 game local multiplayer compatibility or something. I always wanted that, but I never got it. So you could really, and this was before online, you could really only have 2-player games and just on a split screen. And this is back in the day when everyone had like cathode ray tube TVs, those ones that are like wider than the screen is big. It was funny. Those things were heavy. And you know what's on when the green light is on. It's just got an open button, a close button, and then to reset it, you actually click that, or you could just turn it on and off. And I had 2 memory card slots. The memory cards, because back in the day you actually needed to buy an external memory for you to save your games on, because like this is CD games, and like back like in cartridge games like some of the like Zelda, it had some memory on the actual cartridge for the NES, so that's saved to that. But this, you need your own. The controllers and memory slots are all interchangeable with the PS1, so they're pretty much all the same hardware equipment, and it will work, and the controllers will do the same. Yeah, so that's cool. Let's take out the memory card and let's just look at the back of the original. So I'm gonna go ahead and unplug it, pull out the power cable, just one of the like standard power cables it looks like. Yeah. And compared this to the PS1s, I mean the PS1 Micro or whatever this one is, the Slim, the adapter to make it 7.5 volts is actually in here, and I believe that's why this one is smaller, because it's in the power cord itself, and I believe the other one, it's actually in the unit. To get the 7 volts, it needs 7.5. And the audio and video out is a strange looking cable, and it actually is the same audio video out that is used on the Slim. So it is interchangeable there. So if you want, even on the Slim, you could play on a little screen or just stream it or put it onto a bigger screen. And on the rest of here, you just got the power, the audio video out. Let's go ahead and actually flip this. Got the power, AC in, audio video out. That is just the standard audio video cable with RCA. And then we have something called serial in and out. I'm not sure what that is. And this is another parallel in and out, and I'm not sure what that is. See if I can get this open easily. Okay, no I couldn't. Oh wait, it just popped. I was going to use the knife again. And I'm not sure what this is for. Maybe, I'm really not sure. I've never used these, and I really don't know anyone who has. There's a little shaker, something in this system. It is quite old. I don't remember the date that it came out, but man, it was a good one. It says March 1998. That's probably when it came out. It's quite an old system. It's quite big, and it's just gray in color, and yeah, it was a very nice system. On to the PlayStation Slim. So we did go over the fact that the audio and video out cable is the same for the same place as the original PlayStation, so that is cool. It's just the same cord. You don't really need to buy another if you have the original. It just has a DC in, which is the 7.5 volts, that uses this cord with the big old inverter on it. Not inverter, but yeah. And then this one, the AV in, which when I was a kid I had a very good idea, and that's a little bit of the tip for later about how to hook up other systems and stuff to this. And here's an audio jack out. And the system is quite small. It was amazing. I was so happy when I got this as a present. Let's go ahead and flip it on. And it actually came with its own controller. I'm looking around for it, and here it is. It turned a little bit yellower through the ages, but I believe it was around the same color, or maybe it was just a different plastic they used. And of course it is wired. Go ahead and plug it in, and this one doesn't have its own reset button. It just has an open and on and a reset. Go ahead and plug this bad boy in, and let's power it on and see. Actually, I plug in some of the memory cards. These are just some, like, I wish I told us how much memory was on here. I'm sure it's something so small that would just make us laugh. But that's what it was. Maybe this one will say this one's an official. Not quite sure. There's a lot of text there. Alright, so if you just power it on, and there actually is a CD in there. Let me take it out. This is a Crash CD. Crash Warped. Go ahead and place it in my little folder. I'll show you, flip through that in a little bit. So let's power it on without anything first, just to see what happens. And it boots up. You have a volume adjusting and a brightness adjustment, and those are the only two adjustments for the screen you have. The screen is also held on by two screws that I'll remove later to show you what's behind there. And if you don't have a game in it, you can either just play CDs if it's not an actual Sony game and you just have a CD in there, or you can just access the memory to see what kind of saves you have on it. I honestly have no idea, so just check. Looks like I have a bunch of saves. It's loading very slowly, and I'm not even sure if you can see it, but that's okay. Looks like I have some Crash, some Resident Evil, some Tony Hawk 3. Does that look? Spyro, and a bunch of stuff. So yeah, you can just copy, swap some memory card slots from transfer this one to this one. So I remember sometimes I go over to my friend's house and I'd bring a memory card so I could continue the game or whatever. So it's always fun. And let's just pop in the game. Actually, let's go through the games really quick. Oh, actually, I do have another small memory card in here. I have NBA Live, Tekken 3, Resident Evil Director's Cut, good game. Driver, good game. Crash Warp, that was in there at first, love that game. Game Day, Triple Play, that was actually a really fun game, the Home Run Derby. Resident Evil 2, great game. Army Men 3D was pretty good. Game Shark, I actually will explain something about this later. I bought this because it was quite cheap at a store, and it just enables cheats on some games, which I thought was fun, but it can also be used as a swap disc, and I'll explain what that is later. Resident Evil 3 and Nemesis, one of my favorite games. The other disc of Resident Evil 2, the guy, because of Resident Evil 2, the story, you either play as the girl or the guy. And I love how it takes place in the same city as 3 and 2. It's the map is quite similar, and I like that. Crash Bash, great multiplayer game. Played that a lot with my brother. A Beyblade game, wow. Driver, the 2-disc Driver for Driver 2. NHL Face Off. Crash Bandicoot, the original. Resident Evil. I made some backups of some games, because you're really not allowed to download. It's this game. You're not allowed to download ROMs. You're only allowed to rip them from your own CDs, and then you can make copies of them, and I'll show you how you're able to actually play the copies in a minute. Frogger 2, great game, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and Ape Escape. I do have another binder, but I won't bother going through it now. Actually, let's just launch a game. I feel like Resident Evil 3. Let's just see what happens. It loads up. Turn up the volume. It just has 2 small speakers here, and the screen is very small, but it was awesome. I put this everywhere. I brought it in my room, put it on the table, put it next to the TV. My brother was using a system on the TV. It's just like a portable PlayStation. It was so cool, and this is back when I said the TVs were so thick. It was like nothing like this. It was just all fun. And of course it has the small PS1 logo up there, and it has small little rubber things, so when it closes it'll be nice. This is just some gunk because I put a sticker on there and I ripped it off. So yeah, it runs any game good. There you go, some just Resident Evil beginning, so that's awesome. And yeah, it just plays any game perfectly, any PlayStation game. And the thing about this is, if I'll explain how a swap disc works. I'll actually use what's a good game? I'm just going through my other binder real quick. No. Actually, I'm gonna try Abe Oddworld. This is an interesting game. So this is a game that I actually ripped the original from. I forgot which program it was. It was so long ago, and I just downloaded it. But these cannot play by themselves. You need something to actually like kind of boot it, because there's like a boot section on the Sony CDs that allows it to play, so you can't just play pirated games. But I'll show you how to play that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off and open it, slow down the discs. And the way that the swap disc works is actually this Game Shark. I didn't even know this was a possibility, but you place in the Game Shark game, you turn it on, and right here, if you hit the open button, there's this little pressure sensitive button that if it gets raised, it stops the game from spinning, and it's right in there. So what I did is I pushed it down and held it down and poured a little bit of super glue in it. So my PlayStation even runs if the thing is open. And then it go ahead and it's loading the Game Shark. Wow, this thing is old. And I'm gonna go ahead and try to launch Abe's Odyssey in a minute, or Oddworld. I forgot the name of it. Let's see if I remember how to do this correctly. I should. And then after this, I'm gonna take off the back and just show you what that looks like. Click English. It's loading. I mean, the screen quality is it's fine for the games, and honestly I think it's perfect. People nowadays would be like, what is going on? This is so weird. Start game without codes. It says insert game disk, press X to continue. So you'd open it up, then you just place in a game, and you should push a button and it should just boot up the game, if I did it correctly. Let's just see what happens. It's thinking a little bit, and it's thinking and moving, and there we go. Abe's Odyssey Oddworld, an interesting game. Actually, rebought it on Steam too. And these discs are just CDs, they're not even DVDs, and I always loved how they're very shiny and black. Interesting. So there you go. You can just load games if you want. Like I had made a bunch of copies of my Resident Evil games and just games I cared about in case it got scratched. So you can go ahead and play your games that you burned yourself. Very cool. And since I glued the button down, it'll just keep going. So I'll just turn it off, slow it down. I'll remove the game, and I'll go ahead and show you what the screen looks like when it comes off. Let's just place this stuff to the side. Go ahead and unplug this, unplug everything right now. Flip it to the back. It is held on very securely by just 2 screws that I can use just like a coin. This is what the bottom looks like. It is quite small. Very cool. I wonder what year this was made. I'm not sure, it was quite a few years after, but I thought it was amazing. So go ahead and just unscrew this, and I believe it came in the same single bundle I got. I'm not sure what or how much it cost. It was a present, but I know a bunch of family members got together for me with it, and it was one of my favorite presents I got. And it's nice that the screws, they actually don't come out all the way. I'll show you in a minute. So you can't lose them, because that would be a shame if you lost some of the support screws. And it's just a very simple design. There we go. Let's unplug it. Is this off? There we go. And this is what the back of the PlayStation looks like. It just has the multi AV out, which is the same standard plug if you don't want to, and it is quite small. It is almost, it's just about the size of a CD, little few inches on the side. Very cool. And it just has the standard plug that would work if you just wanted to use it by itself. Power on. There we go. And then let's take a closer look at the back of this screen. All that there really is just the plug for the AV, which is pretty much the male version of this, just right there, and then like an extension to the power cord. And yeah, you just plug this into your PlayStation. It doesn't fit the regular PlayStation. The original only fits the Slim. You can see it just fits very nicely. Just be gentle with it. Don't want to force anything. You just close it up and then go ahead and screw it on again. Alright, and then once I get this on, I'm going to show you the little trick I found out when I was a kid to be able to use really anything with this on the screen. Just go ahead and tighten this up, because there was lots of times when I wanted to use systems or something, and my brother was using the TV and he was older, so kind of had rain on me, I guess, who knows. So I'd plug in a different system. I played the Xboxes, lots of things on here. Very cool. You don't really need a controller or any of the memory cards. I'll just put them to the side. You don't even need this. I'm going to go ahead and just move these to the side. I'm going to go ahead and bring the N64 on screen, which I'll have to make about another video. There we go. Another great system. Go ahead and plug in the N64. And then all you really need is the whatever you're going to plug in. It has to be RCA. And when I was younger, I noticed that said AV in, and all I could think of was audio video in. I thought that was so strange, so I wanted to get something that could fit in there and transmit audio and video to it. And I knew that they had these, so I bought this at Radio Shack. This is just an audio splitter, kind of. It's pretty much the same as this. Instead of male to male, it just takes, like, you could plug this into your phone, or back then your CD player, and then this into your TV or something, and it would play the audio through your TV. It's just a cord. This is like that. It just takes the 3.5 millimeter and just splits it up into the RCA of just the audio for like stereo. But instead, I'm going to be using one of these for audio, mono, and one of these is going to be the video. So you plug that in to the AV in, boop, just like that. And there's a 50-50 chance I'll get this wrong, because I have to guess correctly about which one's the audio, which one's the video for the back. So I'm going ahead and just plug it in. I'm gonna guess that one and that one. I don't know. And then I'm going to turn on the PlayStation. The PlayStation will power on. Baba boom, baba boom. But ready? Turn on the N64. And I got it right the first time. And you can just turn off the PlayStation, and the N64 signal is now going through the back, and it's overriding the PlayStation just through that little thing. And you can go ahead and play any system. Like, I've played Xbox, I've played the NES, I've played many things. I remember playing Gears of War on this. So it was just a very cool thing I found out, and yeah, it was just a great little tip, and yeah, I recommend it. Nothing like this, and I'm just very happy. I always love this thing. Yeah, so just showing you that I'm playing and 64 on my PS1 screen. You can really play any system, or even if you want, you can hook up like a DVD player or anything to the back of it, as long as there's RCA. Very cool. Alright guys, that is just a video of my little PS1 LCD screen and a cool little trick that you can use it as just a multi-purpose screen. I hope you guys liked watching, and thank you.